Hello, welcome to Ferrigno Freedom channel. I'm Dante Ferrigno. For those of you who've been here before, welcome back. For those of you who are new, just like to introduce myself. As I said, I'm Dante Ferrigno. I've been doing a carnivore diet known as the Lion Diet now for almost 4 years, and it has been pivotal in changing my life around. At age 48, I was about ready to die, and here at age just about to be 52, and I feel better than I ever have in my life. So I wanted to come and talk to you today about something somebody wanted me to take a look at as a carnivore, because one of the things that I run into is some difficulty with this continuing to talk about things that I've already said over and over here on YouTube and other places. And they said I should check this segment out of this video by Dr. Barry. So I'm going to see what it is that they had to talk about here. It's called Dr. Barry Live. This was from about a month ago. He was talking about fake news and ignorant tweets trying to trick you. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this to full screen, bring it up over here, and off we go. Boom.
What is that? Yes. You guys very often think, all my posting on X and Facebook and Instagram, I post this stuff all the time, Dr. Barry. I share your videos all the time. I don't think it's doing any good. Let me show you something. Let me show you what you guys caused to happen. Time magazine. Time.com. Time magazine. When I was growing up, I considered Time magazine like we kept the current issue of Time magazine by the family Bible, because if it was in Time, it was 100% true. Couldn't even argue with it. So they post this article online. What if ultra processed foods aren't as bad as you think? Under their health, diet, and nutrition. Now, do you think they still have a health, diet, and nutrition editor that fact check this? If you think they do, you need to look this article up and actually read it, because it is an effing joke. This is written by a dietitian who believes that you can be healthy at every size, who believes that you should not shame people for eating ultra-processed junk food. She believes that Kelsey Brothers cereal blend is real food, and if somebody wants to eat that for every meal, you should not judge them or shame them. You shouldn't even speak to them about it. Now,
yeah, I remember when this article came out, because I think Joe Rogan had talked about this too. He was like, yes, they're as bad as you think. And I think that was probably a big effect on this, as well as the fact that Joe Rogan picked up on it. But let's see what he has to say, the rest of it here.
I don't think we should shame people or make them feel bad about themselves, but I absolutely think we need to educate people. And so when I read this article, I was like, oh my God. I retweeted it with some smart ass comment. And so did about 1 million other people. So look at the title again. What if ultra processed foods aren't as bad as you think? You see how they're introducing that little bit of doubt. Like, well, I mean, if Time magazine's not even sure if Lucky Charms is bad for me, then it's probably fine. So many people jumped on their case and called them out for this stupid shit that 2 hours later, watch the difference. This is what happened. 2 hours later on their website, it went from this title that you're seeing right here to this title. Why one dietitian is speaking up for ultra processed foods.
Yeah, that's a totally different approach there. Instead of laying a seed in your mind that there might be something that it's totally fine to eat ultra processed foods and then walking away with that, you walk away with why one lone wolf is speaking up for ultra processed foods. Now that's still probably going to suck a lot of people in to be like, "Oh, really? I can still eat that stuff. Let's see what this one lone dietitian says." But that is still quite the different way of phrasing it, as far as having the impact that a title has, because a lot of people don't read the actual articles. I can understand that. Who has time to read the whole article? And as far as Time magazine being something that was kept next to the Bible, that wasn't that way in my house. I never would have thought of Time as being a good source of anything. But I know there were times in history when time was fairly good at getting you what was going on. But I mean, when you go all the way back to the 1930s, I mean, they had Hitler as the man of the year at one time. So I have very little faith in Time Magazine's ability to forecast anything. But I do know there's a lot of people who do pay a lot of attention to that. And whether or not it was because people were coming in and sharing on X or whatever, or if it was when Joe Rogan talked about this article. I don't know if this is the specific article that Joe Rogan jumped on, but that certainly plays a role. And that encourages me as a influencer here on YouTube who talks about these things, who wants to help not only make America healthy again, but help humanity get healthy again. That would be, that's my goal. And every time I share a video like this or many of the other videos that are out there, it gets a little bit more information out there for people to be able to know that an all meat way of eating, like the lion diet or any other form of carnivore diet, is changing lives in ways that people never would have thought that changing the way you eat will change things. But it's getting rid of all type of problems. So many of these chronic illnesses that medical professionals are doing nothing but treating the symptoms for the most part, and then just charging astronomical fees to keep you on the treadmill out there, when you can actually be getting healthy on your own by switching to something that's going to get you off of all this ultra processed food, off of these sugars and these seed oils that are doing so much damage to our bodies, because we didn't have all this kind of stuff in our food up until about 100, 150 years ago. But now it is so ubiquitous that human bodies are changing the way they pass on genetics to their children as a result of the horrible food we've been eating for the past century and a half. And that's got to stop. That's got to stop really fast if we want to have anything for our children. Whatever future our children are going to have, it should include the option to be healthy based on the food you're eating, and not just to be eating whatever's available to give you enough energy to get through the day, but not enough energy to sustain your body, to give you good mitochondrial health, to give you good cellular health, to give you good brain health and mental health, to be able to keep you functioning like you want to be able to function at your best. You've got to be able to get free of that ultra-processed garbage and seed oils and sugars. And the carnivore way of eating is a fantastic way to do that. Let's go ahead and see what else he's got to say about this, because I think there's a couple more minutes he goes on about this. Let's see.
Before, you guys made your voices loud and clear. This was the title. This would trick anybody. They'd be like, well, I guess it's not that bad. Time got so much grief on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. People like you and me calling them out, going, what the hell's wrong with you? This article is ignorant. This dietitian is ignorant. Like, it wasn't even a good, cogent, coherent argument that she was making. She was just basically saying people should eat whatever they want, whatever makes them feel good, whatever makes them happy, and nobody should tell them that they shouldn't eat that. That was her message. Now, I agree with her. You shouldn't be at the supermarket just coming up to random people and saying, what the hell have you got that in your cart for? Don't eat that. That's probably rude. You shouldn't do that. Although I've been tempted before. But if we're talking about your friend that you love, or a loved one that you love, your spouse, your brother, your aunt, your grandma, 100% help them understand that ultra-processed food full of sugar and grains and vegetable seed oils, that's bad for you. You're going to have a heart attack or a stroke or get cancer eating that crap. So 2 hours after this was posted, you guys caused such a ruckus, such an uproar, such a cacophony, that Time Magazine bent the knee and changed the title to Why One Dietitian is Speaking Up. In other words, do you see how Time pulled back from this? Like, well, they changed it from first person voice to, oh, this one dietitian, just one dietitian. But we feel like we should magnify her voice. So we're going to keep the article up. But why one dietitian? Yeah. And you guys read this article and look for the dietitian's name. And if she's your personal dietitian, I would highly recommend you get another dietitian.
That sounds about right to me. That sounds about like the good way to go when it comes to this, because these ultra processed foods are definitely one of the things that's killing us. Seed oils and sugars would be the number 2 and 3 items I would put on that list. And the easiest way I have found to cut those things out of your diet and enjoy a lifestyle that keeps you healthy and happy and moving in the right direction, gives you loads of energy so you feel like you can keep on working even when you're overloaded with things to do, and that's a carnivore way of eating. And specifically for me, the Lion diet has been fantastic. Now, I had a certain gut issue that might be related to an autoimmune disorder, might not have been, but whatever it was, I was able to resolve that problem because of the Lion diet, and that's why I stick with it, because it works the best for me. But whatever you do, realize that there are alternative ways to get healthy that don't fit with the paradigm we've been told over and over is the way we got to go. You've got to totally rethink everything you think about food if you really want to get healthy, because the food system that we have right now is set up to let us fail. It's set up to get us to think we're doing the right things when we're actually not doing anything different than what we would have been doing if we'd have stayed eating the foods that we were eating before. We switch gears to some packaged food that is supposed to be healthier or lighter in some way, or has less fat or less sugar or less of something that allows you to eat it, and then you're going to be fine. And it doesn't work. It just keeps leading you down this wrong path. Well, once you get that change in the way you think about food, it's going to be real easy on a carnivore way of eating. It's not an easy lifestyle change, but there are some things that you're going to find are a lot easier. Like going shopping, I'm in and out in 10 minutes. I never have to spend very long at the grocery store anymore. I don't have to think for a long time about what I'm going to cook today. I just decide which type of meat I feel like eating today, and I pull some of that out the day before so that it'll be defrosted and I can eat it today. And in some cases, you can even cook straight from frozen. So there's always something delicious on the menu on a carnivore way of eating, and you'll really love the way you feel and the way you look and the way it changes your outlook when you feel better and you don't have all that inflammation and all that pain in your body that comes from all the foods that we eat that are harming us so much. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this. I hope you enjoyed this video. And hey, also be sure to check out my affiliate, Redmond Real Salt. They are the company that I use for all of the salt that goes on my meat. My favorite thing to use these days is their smoked salt. My favorite flavor is the cherry smoked salt, but hickory, chef's blend, and occasionally they have a special apple pecan that's available. And I'm getting hungry just thinking about it, but they are fantastic. The mine is right here in the United States. It's in Utah. So you're supporting a good local company that has been mining this wonderful salt for several years now. And I appreciate you supporting them because they support us. I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?